Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today I have a very special guest. His name is Brian, and I'm bringing him on the channel because he's a brand new seller to Amazon, and he has a very unique perspective in terms of problems that new sellers face, as well as just some successes he's had that he can share with us. And hopefully those successes will motivate anyone who's on the fence about starting to sell on Amazon, or maybe just someone who has started to sell on Amazon and they haven't had the results they've wanted yet. And they're just wondering to themselves, is this really a thing? Can you even make money from this? So hopefully you guys enjoy. I'll have all of the questions I asked him timestamped in the description below so you can jump around if you want. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Hey everyone, thanks a lot for tuning in. Today I have a special guest. His name is Brian, and I'm going to go ahead and just let him introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Brian. I joined Kris's community maybe about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, and been loving it. He's a great mentor, answers all my questions, and glad to be here.
Yeah, so, I've already said in the video I posted before this, the reason why I brought you on, but I think there's a lot of benefit from you in terms of you've had some success up front. Now we're going to touch on that, but I also want to touch on maybe some problems you faced as a beginner of just getting into this whole, selling on Amazon thing. So, but before we get into that, I mean, what's your background like? What do you do now? Like, how did you find out about Amazon? Why are you doing this kind of thing?
Okay, yeah, so I'm a pilot right at the moment, and I was actually on a layover, just hanging out on YouTube, looking at stuff, and my neighbor actually sells on eBay, and she sells kids' toys primarily, and she does pretty good. So a random video popped up on the side, and I opened it up and watched it, and just kept rolling and rolling with the videos. And then I actually had come across another person you interviewed, Adam Fisher, and then from there I found you off of his videos, and just been watching your videos since, and joined the community there. That's kind of how I started. It was kind of random. I knew people sold on Amazon, but I didn't know exactly like what. I would just use the buy box and I buy stuff, so I didn't realize they were all kind of independent sellers, I guess. And I was just looking for a way to kind of supplement my income while I'm in transition to another job, and it's been working out.
All right. Yeah. And I mean, go ahead and share like some of your successes. Like I know that you posted a screenshot in the group, which I know a ton of people found motivating. I find motivating. Yeah. Just go ahead and share a little bit about that.
All right, yeah. So first thing I did was I got tactical arbitrage. I did go into a store, what was Kohl's actually, once or twice, and tried to do actual retail arbitrage. And it was the first time I tried it. It didn't work out too well for me, maybe because I just didn't know what I was doing. I was kind of just doing to do and figure it out. But then I got tactical arbitrage and started running some scans and got the parameters down a little better. And I'm still learning it. It's a pretty robust piece of software. So, and now that they added those 5 scans in there, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so started playing around with it. Got my first item actually from Best Buy. It was like a webcam type thing for your front door, so you can see who's there.
Wow.
And it was on sale for like 20 or 30 bucks, and I sold it for 100. And this was about 2 to 3 weeks after I started watching all the videos and everything. So once it went into Amazon, it sold out literally within 24 hours. Made my net $500, and then about 2 weeks ago, one of them was sent back. I think the person probably just didn't want it.
Yeah.
So I'll have to deal with that now, which is a new experience on returns. So yeah, I got pretty good success right away. I have another like 5 products in there right now. One of them I thought was going to sell pretty quickly, but it's kind of been stagnant for the last week, and I'm kind of trying to figure out what's going on with that one. And then I have 2 higher priced items that are like super high ROI, so I figured they're going to sit a little while, and Amazon actually just came on the scene to compete in those ones as well. So might take a little longer, but in my opinion, I started out with enough cash, so if it sits there for a while, I'm not too worried. The ROI is there, and so yeah, that was kind of like my first couple weeks of experience there.
Yeah. And that kind of touched on what I wanted to get into is just you touched on your successes, you touched on your problems, because it doesn't matter what you're doing, who you're working with, like there's going to be obstacles. And it's just about how you learn from those. So is that primarily like the main obstacles you've faced up to this point is just, I know you mentioned one return and then just Amazon coming onto the scene, which it's happened to me before in the past as well. And that definitely makes things a little different. Have you faced anything else up to this point, or with tactical arbitrage, maybe like anything like that at all?
So a tactical arbitrage, like I said, still learning the software because there's so many elements to it, and kind of dialing the parameters down is really the key to it. They have pretty good support videos, so I would suggest going through every single one of those. You know, you don't have to sit down and watch all of them at once, just maybe like one or two a day or whatever. But understand that your videos helped a lot. You have a lot of the sales rank items in there, so that helped a lot because I was getting things that were such high sales rank they weren't really selling. And then I dialed in all the parameters from your video, and that helped a lot. And then even from there, I put them down a little bit more. I started going through Jungle Scout with that one, and just kind of figuring out if an item would sell about 200 a month, what the sales rank would be, and then I would put that into my parameters and my settings. And that helped a lot to find items. And then the next obstacle I faced there was the gating issue, just being a new seller. Eventually what I did is everything I was gated in, I just started hitting auto or the apply button. And funny enough, I started getting ungated in some things. And then it looks like a lot of the ungating will come from just selling more items on Amazon, and it kind of auto ungates you in a lot of things. So that's kind of what I'm facing there right now. With Amazon itself, just kind of trying to figure out, like I had one item in that I said, I thought it was going to sell really well, and it's been stagnant for about a week and a half, and I'm trying to just kind of figure out what's going on there because there's only two other buyers, they're both prime. They actually started to go into like a price war with me, penny down. And so after like 2 or 3 tries, I stopped that nonsense and just went back to my original price because they only have like 1 or 2 items anyways. But just kind of figuring out because the keeper graph is saying that they're selling at least 1 a day, but then those 2 sellers in front of me are still there and they only have 1 or 2 inventory. So I'm kind of like, I don't know what's going on.
And are there any variations on this listing, or is it just strictly that listing?
I think there might be one other listing. Mine's pro version of the item, but
Okay,
I can't really see a difference in the two.
yeah, so what happens here is sometimes, and this happens for anyone, and this is just for anyone watching this, like if you plan on selling like clothes or shoes or anything that has a bunch of like water bottles, if there were 50 different water bottles, and I'm not saying this is the case in this instance, but sometimes there's on a listing, there's a parent ASIN and a child ASIN. And so, for example, if there's 3 different water bottles and you can source the blue one for 100% ROI, you need to make sure that the keeper graph is mimicking that ASIN, that particular item. And the only way to do that, I believe the only software that you can actually break down to see how much one's selling is the analysis tab in Tactical Arbitrage. If there's something out there that can calculate that other than, that can calculate a certain size selling, by any means, anyone correct me in the comment section below. That'd be great. I'd love to know about it. But to my knowledge, that's the only way to do that. And I'm not saying that's the issue. I just maybe wanted to elaborate on that for anyone just to get on that specifically. And, something I really like it too about your attitude is, and this is just my opinion, I feel like if someone is successful in something, you could put them in any scenario and they're going to be successful at it. Like, it's just more of a mindset than it is an actual. I'm not saying you'll be successful in the beginning, like right out the gate. It's nice, but you will. So like, what's your mindset like? And I just to kind of, before I let you answer that, like you ask me so many questions, like, and they're not just, they're good, like analytical questions. And I think what you actually got in there, you got your hands dirty. Like you said, you went to retail stores, you just wanted to do something, like just taking action. So, I mean, what's your mindset like with just not only this, but just selling on Amazon in general?
I've always been pretty optimistic. I believe myself. I can do anything I want, just depends what I want to do. I'll always succeed at it as long as I stick with it, and you got to go through the bumps and learn like anything else. Masters don't become masters in a week or something, right? So you just got to kind of stick to it. With Amazon and arbitrage, I just kind of jumped in trying to find a side hustle, I guess you could call it, on making a little extra income. But then as I learned more and more about it, it seemed like it could become much more of an actual the income potential is there to make it something more realistic. And though I love flying airplanes still, I'm just kind of burnt out with the industry there. So my mindset's always just been get in there, listen to your teacher, the teacher myself in aviation, do what your teacher says right away, because there's a reason why, they're successful and you're just starting out in it. So do what they say to the letter. And then as you get better, you can start branching out and learning from there. Same kind of concept with the military. Who's ever been in the military, you do as you're told, and then as you get better and smarter, then you start thinking on your own and branching out. So that's kind of my mindset there. One other thing I would say is you had mentioned in the Facebook group a little while ago that you were reading this book. I forget the exact name, but it was Jab, 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 Right Hook.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that was a big one too, because I haven't read the book myself, but I've read books like it. And like the book I've read, it's just little steps, like jab, right? Little ROI here, little ROI there. And then you find the big product and then you go in a little bigger, right? So yeah, that's kind of my mindset on all that. Listen to your teacher, do as he says, ask questions, try and figure it out a little bit first on your own, because there's a whole creative process there that goes with it. And then ask intelligent questions, right? Not just the very simple questions that if you spent a little time looking at settings or something, you could figure out on your own.
I mean, that's fantastic. I think that's a great mindset to have. And I mean, like you said, you started out just looking up videos on YouTube. It's like, if you want to learn something bad enough, like there's information everywhere on YouTube for whatever it is that you really want to learn. So that's a great mindset. And I guess just to end, like to wrap things up, just for anyone who might be on the fence, whether it's like a belief issue, does this really work? Or like maybe it's a time issue. I don't know. What's your advice to them just about taking action or just getting started? I mean, what's your advice to them? Because I know that's something you're really good at.
I would say just baby steps. If you don't have all day every day because you got your regular day job, just watch a single video every day. Make a calendar, be consistent, become your own CEO. Scheduling and the mental thought process there is the hardest thing of being an entrepreneur or your own boss. So little by little, and then eventually you'll get there.
I think that's great. That's excellent. And, thank you so much for just coming on. I know you're a really busy guy, so thank you so much for your time coming on. And obviously we'll definitely be talking more. So thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Kris.
Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, feel free to like and hit that subscribe button. And if you want, you can also join the Facebook group in the description below, where you can network with a bunch of like-minded people. And I'm also answering questions as well. See you in there.